What's up, everybody? Tommy here, Math Productions Gaming, and back at Fallout 76. And this episode, we'll have a little bit of fun exploring, checking out a couple of features of this game here at the beginning of the episode. But then I decided that I wanted to check out and show off a little bit how the building mechanics differ, how they're the same, but also how they differ within 76 from Fallout 4. When I first tried 76, I did not understand at all how the building worked, and it was frustrating, and it is definitely different than Fallout 4 in regards to like the overall reason for the outposting mechanic, right? How the actual outposts work in play. It is drastically different, so you have to have a different mindset between Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. Fallout 4, we're familiar that the outposts are specifically made for you to be able to have a place that you can stash your goods, that you can craft some goods, and that ultimately you can recruit settlers to those outposts. Sorry, I keep calling them outposts. I guess I'm confusing terminology between Starfield and the Fallout universe, but the settlements, right? The whole purpose is to bring people in so that way you can give them jobs, you can have vendors at your settlements, and that's really the whole, at least in my opinion, from my perspective, the whole point of settlements. It is those NPC settlers that you can bring in, right? Real quick, what I just showed on screen, the fast travel mechanic, it is definitely a worth it mechanic. In 76, the map is huge. Somehow we got really far north, and there was going to be a lot of fighting, potentially, probably, to get back down to stuff that was more familiar with it, or that we're more familiar with. So I went ahead and went into the map, found Vault 76, and just fast traveled there. It is a free fast travel location, otherwise it would use caps, but that fast travel mechanic is actually really cool, really vital. Does not destroy immersion in my opinion. It absolutely helps speed up what you're trying to do in play, right? But back to when we were talking about settlements, right? So in 76, as opposed to 4, not at all about building something to recruit settlers in to then build vendor shops and stuff like that, having them farm food or things of that nature does not exist in 76. The whole purpose, though, at its heart, selfishly for the player, is still the same. It's a place that you can build your stash boxes, your loot boxes, all the various workstations, beds, water pumps. You can still put in food plots and stuff like that. So all the individual components are still going to be there from 4 to 76. But you're going to have to use them more individually as opposed to actually placing them for NPC settlers, right? I guess the terminology itself is really what shows you the difference. In Fallout 4, you're building a workbench at the start, or you're unlocking a workbench at the start of a settlement build. For Fallout 76, you're placing a base camp. You're placing a individual device that gives you that build radius that you're then allowed to build within, and it's yours every time you load into the game. To my understanding, in between game sessions, your outpost is basically just removed from the map, removed from that server it's at. Next time you log in, your outpost is where you built it on the map, but obviously you're in a new server at that time, right? Now, before we get to the actual building, I found this building, which was really cool by itself, had a bunch of different workstations, access to a stash box, a couple pieces of loot here and there. Some feral ghouls attacked, so we helped out there, grabbed a couple items there. But then I saw this! A power armor! What? And it said I could enter. I have no idea if this is like a free power armor for every player, if I'm stealing something. There's no indication on screen that I'm stealing it. It said that I couldn't get inside it because of the T-45s, so I took those pieces of armor off, stepped inside that frame, And check it out. It's a quarter of a tank in the fuel core, basically. So we don't have a whole lot of play that we'll be able to do with this power armor. But we do have our first power armor. And a couple pieces of T-45. So how cool is that, right? We ended up walking until we got back near the Wayward. Our fusion core ran out. I thought it was super cool on the Xbox. If you press the Y button up against a power armor frame that does not have an active fusion core in it, you can basically store that frame. I thought that was super cool. I had basically mentally resigned to the fact I was going to have to leave that power armor frame somewhere. Hopefully there'd be an indicator on the map for where I left it. Otherwise, I had a power armor for about 2 minutes in play, and that was that, right? But then I saw that you could press the Y button and it allows you to store that power armor frame, so that is super cool, right? But to the building itself, so we got, like I said, just outside of the area of the Wayward, I believe just southeast on the map, if I remember the orientation correctly. But basically I just wanted to put down a basic camp with the basic structures that I had available to me, because that's the biggest thing that's different too when you go actually into the build menus, right? Is the user interface is obviously different, the layout's different, but when you're looking at everything that you can build within each build category, it'll show you all of the eventual types of things that you can build, and it'll just show you what you have access to versus what is still blocked and or locked. So you do have to take a little bit of time getting familiar with the new setup of the build categories. Just literally scroll one by one through each one, look at what you can build, look at what you can't build. I do have a few blueprints in my inventory already, but for the most part I believe everything that I'm building is just the basic stuff that if you followed the couple steps of the couple quest lines we've done since we started this playthrough, right, then you should have access to the same things I'm using. That sign is part of one of those initial gameplay quests that you get from the ghoul guy that's hanging out at the bar there at the Wayward. And so we finally got a camp built, we put up that thing, so it checked off that step in that quest line. But before we go and follow up on that, I want to go ahead and finish filling out inside the structure that we've put up here at base with all of the workstations that we have available to us. We haven't done, at least at this point in play, a whole lot of crafting. We will definitely get more involved in the crafting and seeing what we can do there. We just have not yet done it to date. Go ahead and get some defensive pieces in, one by the front door. We'll have one kind of ducked off here, get a little cross defense going on at the street side, entrance side of our little build here. Wish that I had the components needed for a generator, because I don't have, I'm missing something to be able to put in a generator. We'll show here in a second on screen, there's a basic vendor stand that I could set up at this camp, so that way if other players were in the area while I was actively on the server, if they came across my build, they'd be able to potentially buy some things right there or sell some things. I don't know how the vendor thing works really, but potentially could have had some caps coming and going that way. Go ahead and get a bed in. I kind of deceived myself for a second where I was just talking about how some things are locked, some things are unlocked for you to be able to build until you get the blueprints to unlock them, or whatever it is that locks them. I was trying to put in a bed right there that I did not have available to me yet. Just the basic bed is all that's available. Go ahead and get that in. We got a couple other decorative pieces we'll put in, maybe a little chair for the front porch. We got our radio out there. We're not going to spend time at base really, there's no real need to at this point, but I do want the base to look lived in, at least semi-lived in, right? Like it's an actual active little lodge, shed, waypoint next to the Wayward where people passing have access to a bed, to a roof over their heads, some water at the pump, a cooking station out front, and everything they would need to be able to repair or upgrade the gear that they have with them. This is that vendor thing. Requires 3 power. I don't have enough components to build a generator, so we're gonna have to save the vendor part of base camp building for another video for sure. But that's pretty much it. We've got a 4 foundation with walls, with roof, we've got a door, we've got a single foundation porch with some stairs going up to it. We've got 2 turrets, we've got a lounging chair, a radio, a cooking station, all the workstations with a bed inside, stash box, some extra decorative storage type pieces, and we have our quest sign built out front by the street. All in all, I think it's a successful build, and the more I get familiar with the building of 76, the more I am actually enjoying it and kind of getting excited about the prospects of what I can do with it, right? But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I hope you press the like button. I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. There's a whole lot more content on the way. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what you'd want to see next, and as always, take care.